All right, so all kidding aside, welcome to the final Space Dandy panel that we have scheduled at Anime Fest 2014. Today we have with us, again, the same wonderful 5 creators that we've seen the past couple days, but today we're going to take a slightly different tack with the content. So without further ado, let me turn it over to the group. Let's have them has anybody not attended a Space Dandy panel yet?
Oh dear.
That's good, it's about half of you, which is great. So we'll start off with them with some brief introductions, okay?
こんにちは。監督の夏目です。よろしくお願いします。
Hello, I'm Director Natsume. Nice to meet you.
脚本をやらせていただいております。6話と2話と6話と13話をやってます佐藤です。
I'm a writer, Dai Sato, and I did episodes 2, 6, and 13.
昨日放送した回を書きました。よろしくお願いします。
Nice to meet you. I am Kimiko Ueno, and I was actually the writer who did the episode we showed yesterday.
2話と17話の作画監督を担当しました青山博之です。よろしくお願いします。
My name is Hiroyuki Aoyama, and I was the animation director for episodes 2 and 17. Nice to meet you.
こんにちは。8話と19話、ストーリーボードと作画監督をしました清水宏です。お願いします。
My name is Shimizu Hiroshi, and I did the storyboards and the animation direction on episodes 8 and 19. Nice to meet you.
昨日のダンディを見てくれた人って今日どれくらいいるんですか？
So how many of you saw the episode of Space Dandy yesterday? Very good, about 40% or so.
あんまりじゃネタバレにならないけど。
そうですね。
音楽がキーになってるんですけど、それはなんとなく分かっていますかねっていうところを聞いてみたいなと思いますけど。全体ですね。
So, music is actually a very key component in Space Dandy. So, and it has a lot to do actually with the story elements too. So I want to know, do you guys realize that? Is that something that you've caught on to?
例えばミュージカルの回とか。
For example, the musical episode.
昨日のやつバンド。
And yesterday's episode was about a rock band.
で実は日本で参加しているアーティストが普通アニメーションって1人が劇伴やることが多いんですけど、音楽監督というかコンポーザーは例えば1人だけ。
So normally on an anime series, there's really only one music composer.
これの場合は20組ぐらい。
そうですね。20組、大体そのくらいです。
In the case of Space Dandy, there are nearly 20 composers.
Almost one an episode.
例えば菅野陽子さんとか、
So for example, Kanno Yoko.
あとあとはロックバンドの人たちが多いんですけど、
Other than that, there's a lot also of a lot of rock bands.
昨日のロックバンドの人も、向井修徳という人。
And so the rock band from yesterday was actually a gentleman named Shuto Mukai.
日本ではすごくロックのスターとして有名な人に書いてます。
And so he, you know, we actually had him compose, and he's an incredibly popular and famous rock musician in Japan.
なんか割と渡辺さんイコール音楽っていう感じなんですけど、
そうですね。
その辺でどうやって打ち合わせしたり、音楽周りとかって自分と兼ね合いってどういう感じなんですか？
So we actually, I actually think that music almost equals Watanabe Shinichiro. So in that regards, how did you collaborate with Watanabe and discuss music?
そうですね。基本的には渡辺さんが中心となって、渡辺さんが気になるミュージシャン、好きな音楽のジャンルとかというのを説明して、それに合った人にお願いして上がってくるという感じですね。
So it really kind of started out with what director Watanabe was interested in musically, and he put out some suggestions, and we found artists that matched those suggestions, and then we looked at what came back and kind of chose from that.
でそのエピソードに合わせた曲を発注している感じなので、ゾンビだったらゾンビっぽい音楽とか。
And so when we started to make the requests for the type of music for the episodes, we wanted the music to match the theme of the episode. So, for example, in the zombie episode, we wanted to find music that would go well with the whole zombie theme.
ゾンビの回はジョン・カーペンターっていう映画監督でミュージシャンの人がいるんですけど。
So in the zombie episode, for example, there you know of John Carpenter, I'm assuming, right? Famous director and musician.
ジョン・カーペンター好きのミュージシャンを渡辺監督がクラブでスカウトして。
So director Watanabe actually scouted out musicians that were fans of John Carpenter at clubs.
そしてジョン・カーペンターと同じ機材を使ってジョン・カーペンターみたいな音楽をジョン・カーペンターよりハイクオリティで上げてくるっていう。
And so he tried to find musicians that use the same equipment as John Carpenter and use the same methods as John Carpenter, but even produced higher quality than John Carpenter.
で今回いろんな20組ぐらいのアーティストに頼んでるんですけど、みんなレーベルとか事務所が違うんですよ。
So this time, we had to make offers and make contracts and arrangements with over 20 different artists, and each of them worked for different labels and companies.
普通なら実現しないような組み合わせでちょっとダンディは成り立っている。
And so one of the amazing things is normally when you have that many different companies, there's no way you could make it happen. But in the case of Dandy, we were able to actually pull together artists from all these competing and different labels.
それができたというのも、渡辺さんが今まで作ってきたカーボーイビバップだったり、マクロスプラスだったりする、なんていうか経歴もあるし、で何より渡辺さんのファンが音楽業界にすごく多かったってこと。
And I think probably the reason that was a success, or that we were able to do that, was really all based on the works and the history of Watanabe Shinichiro himself, right? In shows like Space or Cowboy Bebop, and Macross Plus, where actually there are many musicians today who are fans of those works themselves.
アーティストはみんなやりたがって自らデモテープを勝手に送ってきたりとか。
And so a lot of artists actually they heard about this and they wanted to do the project even without necessarily being made an offer and sent in demo tapes.
そういうなんていうんですか、渡辺さんのカリスマ性みたいなのでようやく成り立った組み合わせでだったなと。
And so, perhaps it could even be said that Space Dandies, that this collaboration was really done because of the charisma of Watanabe Shinichiro.
なんか渡辺さんっていつもメインコンセプトが、例えばビバップだったら ジャズで、SF とか。
So in the case of Watanabe Shishiro, he normally tries to make a theme not only of just the show, but also music. So in the case of Cowboy Bebop, jazz, and science fiction.
ヒップホップで時代劇。
And so hip-hop music with a period piece.
今回は何なんですかって一番最初の方に聞いたときに、こう祭りフェスみたいな感じになったらいい話をしている。
And so when I asked him this time, hey, so what theme are we aiming for? He said, a festival, a matsuri.
それで実は絵描きの人とかそのデザイナーとか脚本家もそういう意味では音楽フェスみたいにバラバラです。
And so similar to the variety of musicians we have involved in this project, we also involved a huge variety of animators and creators.
まあそれを渡辺さんが全てそのコーディネートして作ったという感じですね。
And so in a way, I can honestly say that it was really Director Watanabe that was able to coordinate all these different elements and bring it together.
特に昨日のロック会とかは上条敦さんという漫画家にキャラクターデザインをしてもらっていますけど。
And so actually in the episode yesterday, they actually made a request to a very famous manga artist named Atsushi Kamijo.
80年代に「遠い」っていう漫画を描かれた。
He drew a manga called Toy that was popular in the 80s.
なんとかあと大友克洋さんでアキラの人ですね。
And so you guys know of Katsuhiro Otomo, right? Of Akira fame?
の人もこれから
これから23話
So as a matter of fact, he was also brought in, if you were, and will be participating in episode 23. Yesterday was 20, by the way.
そうですね。
And so actually, I remember hearing that Watanabe asked Otomo to participate when they were out drinking together one night.
ちなみに庵野秀明さんにも頼んだんですけど断られた。
And he also apparently asked Anno Hideaki, but was turned down.
あとあれですね、ガンダムのメカデザイナーの大河原邦夫さん。
Also a Gundam mecha designer, Ogawara Kunio.
これっていうモビルスーツみたいな機動戦士って言われる。
So, all right, so the one in Gundam, the mobile suit that's referred to as Kore.
本当にいろんな人が関わって田島翔さん。
ああそうですね日本の。
So a lot of people have really been involved, including Sho Tajima.
あとコードギアスの監督。
And also director Taniguchi of Code Geass.
ガンダムウィン
Geass. How do you say it in English? I only say it in Japanese.
Code Geass.
Geass, okay.
他にももっといろんなレジェンドクラスの人にお願いしようというのもありました。
There are tons of ideas to continue making requests to all these legendary level creators.
大体断られた。
大体ことはでも随分
随分集ま
But
る。
we were turned down quite a bit too. Even so, we were able to collect quite an amazing group of people.
ノリのいい人たち。
あそうですね
Everybody had a really great attitude toward the project, and I think that's what was important.
何ですかね。今日これいっぱいあるんですけど。
あそう今日ブービーズ
聞いてその質問の人に上げていくみたいな感じをここからしていきたいなで絵描きと監督と脚本家がいるのでその辺は探ってるよねっていう感じでした。
All right, so what they would like to do, or what we would like to do from this point is we've received a large number of Boobies pennants. We'd like to be able to give these out to people here in the panel today. However, we would like to give them out to people who are able to ask us questions. And we would like to have those questions targeted. You know, today we have two amazing animators with us. We have a director and we have writers. So think about your question, and when you think of a question, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll call on you, but make sure it's targeted at somebody. Okay, and I think I saw your hand first.
Yeah, so the design of Admiral Perry's ship, like, insight on that? That's just,
okay, yeah, you weren't here yesterday, I think. Which is cool.
あれはフランス人の謝礼ですね。
So that was kind of more of a, it was actually created by a Frenchman, designed by a Frenchman.
デザイナーがフランスの方でロマントマさん。
Yeah, so Thomas Roman is his name, and he's from France, and he wanted to kind of make an off-the-wall, unique design.
なのでこちらとしては何も発注はしてないんですけど、勝手に上がってきたから。
So we didn't actually ask for any specifics on that. He just kind of came up with it and threw it in our faces. So.
彼の趣味。
Perhaps the ball gag is his own hobby. I don't know.
じゃあ、前に来てくれ。はい。
Thank you.
All right.
もうどんどん
Okay. We'll go with you on the side.
It's also another spaceship question. How might
What the
you
issues in?
design the Aloha Oe? What was the inspiration?
まあそうですね。ハワイのカヌーにああいう形のものがあって、それをモチーフにしたと言ってました。
So we tried to use the motif of a Hawaiian canoe
あとバナナボートみたいな。
and try to kind of also make it like a little bit like a banana boat.
それで色も黄色にした。
And that's why we made it yellow. All right.
Can this be for everybody?
Nazine, she's one being this guy.
あ、もちろん。
Yes, sure.
What Space Dandy universe character do you relate to most personally and why?
それぞれの質問なんですけど、自分
まあ、一番そういう意味で言うと、ミャオっぽい。
So I guess if you're saying it that way, then I guess I'm closer to meow.
僕は B ですかね。
I think I probably closely relate B.
目が細いですし、
Yeah.
偉大な権力の影に隠れてやる感じです。
So, you know, maybe it's because I have slightly narrower eyes, and B has this kind of other authority, but it's a little bit more hidden in the shadows. So I think that's kind of like me.
そうですね、あんまり考えたことなかったんですけど、やっぱりキューティーかな。
I actually hadn't really thought about this at all until you just asked, but maybe I'm like QT a little bit myself.
I'm a dandy.
Good question. Yes. Let's go to the other side of the room. In the back? Yep.
I know that Sono had worked on song lyrics before, but had the other screenwriter written the lyrics before last night's episode? Or was that her first time writing lyrics for an episode?
For Miss Ueno?
I'm sorry, I didn't know her name first.
Okay. 上野さんへの質問なんですけど、佐藤さんなら以前に作詞とかしたことがあるんですけど、昨日の20話の話で、作詞したこと、それまでやっぱ初めてだった。It was actually her first time.
作詞はね、向井修道さん。
Ah, so actually the lyrics were written by Shuto Mukai in the episode yesterday. So she hasn't done lyrics before. You come up. The very back.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. Will we ever see like Dandy's past or anything, like a background story to him? Because we just start out with the episode of him in space. I was always wondering if there was going to be ever something about his past on it.
ダンディさんの過去を説明してくれるような話ってないですか？
ダンディの過去、
はい。
これからあります。ダンディの元カノが出てきてっていう感じなんで楽しみにしていてください。
So as a matter of fact, yes, you are going to see about that in the upcoming episodes. As a matter of fact, his former girlfriend makes an appearance. Careful.
Question for each. Dandy covers a lot of different themes. If they got a chance to do more Space Dandy, what theme would each of them like to do in a story?
Meaning not a space theme, or?
No, it's like you have the zombie theme, you have
Okay.
my theme, that theme.
ダンディだと各話に違うテーマがゾンビダンディをもっともっとかけるのであればどんなテーマにしたいですか？
Basically a theme that hasn't been done.
今までやっていないで
大体やり尽くした。
What they're saying is that they think they've covered pretty much every idea they came up with.
あと各話に出てきた人たちをもうちょっといじったりするのは面白そうっていうのは言いますよね。
その各話の続き。
それこそまあアデリちゃんみたいなのとかね。
So perhaps maybe it's not a new episode, but maybe an extension of a previous episode. For example, episode 5 with Adelie. Maybe it would be interesting to draw a continuation of what happens there.
もうダンディ出てこない。
Dandy may not appear, but good side character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spin-off.
Other stories.
ブービーズの一日。
Maybe a day at Boobies. White tie.
When they went with the character design for Dandy and Meow and Cutie, like just with their attitudes and design, like what were they thinking? What were they based off of? Anything?
Each design, did it have a particular...
Like were they thinking of something when they were creating the character or when they were giving them their personality?
Okay, so the question is, for the designs of Space Dandy, QT, and Meow, was there any specific thought in mind when they were creating those characters?
Yeah.
モデルがいたんですけど、ダメなやつが、そいつをモデルにした。まあ QT は掃除機ですね。
So QT is a vacuum.
旧式の掃除機。
Kind of the old style.
で、ミャウは実際モデルがいます。
So actually there is a model individual for Meow.
まあ 佐藤大さんのマネージャーをやられてて、
So
なかなかのダメなやつ。
this individual just happens to be Mr. Sato's manager. who apparently lacks in some areas.
元ね、ボンズの社員。
ああ、そうです。
He used to actually work, his manager actually used to work for Studio Bones. So many of the people at Studio Bones know him. How about Dandy?
矢沢でいいんですかね。でまあ、ダンディは、まあ、矢沢永吉という日本のロックスターがモデルなんですけど、まあ、アメリカで言ったらエルビスみたいな感じかなと。
So as far as Dandy goes, there really is a model. In Japan, the individual's name is Yazawa Eikichi, and he's very famous there, but if you were to try to compare him to somebody in America, it'd probably be closer to like an Elvis. So, all right, thank you. Let's see. In the sunglasses? Yep.
On that same note, I was kind of wondering about Dr. Gell's character design, because his outfit seems kind of thrown together with like the difference between his shoes, I suppose. I was wondering if there was a general idea about his design.
ファンカデリックとか、アメリカのミュージシャンでファンカデリックのベーシストでブーチー・コリンズという人がモデルですね。
So the model for Dr. Gell is actually Bootsy Collins, Funkadelic.
実際音楽もオファーしようとしたんですけど連絡つかずみたいな。
We actually tried to make an offer for her to participate in music in Space Dandy, but we weren't able to finally make that connection, unfortunately.
ちなみにジョージ・クリントンの影響はすごくこの作品受けてますね。あの当時の SF 感はすごく影響を受けて絵にも反映されてます。
And so George Clinton's influence is also pretty heavy. It's nice that somebody recognized those names. How about, let's see, in the white glove?
How long have you guys been thinking about the concept of Space Dandy, even before it was created?
Before the project kicked off, maybe? Okay. So the question is, how long were you working with the concept of Space Dandy before the project actually started?
そうですね。自分が入る前に佐藤大さんが参加されてたんで、ちょっと大さんに聞いてみましょう。
So actually, before I was even involved in the project, Sato Dai was working on it. So let's ask that question to him.
多分一番最初に誘われたのは伊藤さんで、それはきら星スタードライバーの時の仕事を彼がしている時に伊藤さんと直石さんで次なんかコメディで SF やりたいって言ったのが一番最初。
So probably in the very beginning, it was Mr. Ito from Star Driver and Mr. Watanabe and myself that were out and having a discussion, and we said, hey, the next thing we want to do is a science fiction comedy.
でそれから僕が入って大体皆さんが入る1年ちょい、まあ、2年弱ぐらい前ぐらいに企画書ですねを書いてました。
And so I actually wrote the proposal for the project, if you were, kind of the pilot idea, just under maybe 2 years before it kind of really kicked off.
間に坂道のアポロンを彼がやってるので、その間まるっと止まるっていう事故がありました。ストップします。坂道の。
So in the process of that 2-year period, there was a project called Kids on the Slope. So during that period, the whole Space Dandy thing was on complete hold. We'll go with you in the blue.
What is everybody's favorite episode?
それぞれに答えてほしい。
じゃあ自分からいきます。
あ、いいですね。はい。I'll go first, he says.
13話ですね。まあ理由はQT が失恋しちゃうんですけど、まあ、それが自分と重なってこう思い出深い感じです。そうなんですか。ちょっと思い出深い。で、その自分のそういうのも入れ込んでカットがあったりするんで、ちょっと重なって。
So actually, for me, it's episode 13, and the reason for that is QT experiences a sad, what you would say, lost love, if you were, and unfortunately, it mimics exactly what I went through at that time, and there are elements of what I experienced that we put into episode 13. So I have a kind of a close relation to that. They're very surprised to hear this, the first time they're hearing this too.
You have to come to Dallas to find these things out.
ダラスまで来て初めて分かることってあるんですね。
やっぱり自分が携わったので、ラーメンのには。
So for me, I was involved with that episode, but for me, it's the ramen episode number 2.
まあこれ知り合いにラーメンのお店に詳しい人がいて、同じアニメーターなんですけど、その人にすごくたくさんいろんなラーメン屋さんに連れてってもらった時期があるので、もうラーメンっていうともうどうやって書こうかっていうのはすごく楽しかったので、すごく思い出が。
So I have another fellow animator friend who is actually a huge ramen buff, and I actually went with him on this whole ramen shop trip where we hit up dozens of ramen shops. And so when it came down to the process of needing to think about how am I going to draw different ramen shops, it was a great experience.
でもそのラーメンが詳しいアニメーターの人はすごく上手なんですけど、ぜひともラーメンの会を手伝ってほしいって頼んだんですけど、食べるのは好きだけど書くのは嫌だって人。
And so I knew my friend liked ramen so much, and he's an animator, right? So I said, hey, why don't you help me out on this episode? He says, I like to eat ramen. I don't like to draw ramen.
そうですね。僕もやっぱり自分がやった8話の回が好きです。
So for me, I guess I'm going to have to say also an episode that I worked on, which is number 8.
渡辺慎一郎監督から最初にこの話を誘われた時に、何でもやっていいと言われたんですけど、やっぱりそこまで何でもはできなかったんですが、その8話の B パート、バタバタ動くっていうのを楽しんで書けたってことが一番印象に残ってます。
And so for me, when Watanabe Shinichiro approached me and I shared my idea of what it was I wanted to do, he said, well, you could go ahead and do anything and just be free. And that was really hard for me to do. But I did keep in mind, and one of the fondest memories I have of that is in the B part, the second half of the show. There was a lot of excited movements, and it was animating that was very nice experience for me.
私はこれから放送になる23話は書いたんですけど、それが、ダンディがほんの少しだけ誰かに恋する話。
And so for me, the episode that's probably my favorite, it's one I wrote, but it hasn't aired yet. It's actually episode 23, and let's just say that Dandy maybe falls in love a little bit.
いくつかの話数挙げられてしまったと思いましたけど、
several great episodes have already been named, but
被らないようにって意味でもうほぼ全部好きですけど、
I like so many, but in order to not duplicate any of the ones that have been said before.
自分が関わった意味でやっぱり6話のパンツとチョッキの戦争。
So for me, it's probably another one that I wrote, episode 6, which is the big vesties versus undies episode.
オチどうしようかっていう時にある日監督に「この曲流せばいいんだよ」って言われて、そのジャンク藤山さんのサーフミュージックを聴かされて、これでいいのかって思いながら書いてみたって感じでしたね。
And so I was talking with the director one day, and he said, "Hey, you know, we should put this song at the end." And it was like a surfing song from Jump Fujiyama, and so I was wondering how can I write to match up with that, but you see what came together.
それでそれ書いた時に「君さエウレカやってんだからこれで大丈夫じゃね、怒られても大丈夫じゃね?」って言われたんですよね。
そうですね。
And so I was told, but you know, hey, you were involved with Eureka 7, right? So they're not going to get mad at you.
でも僕的にはあれはジョン・カーペンターの「ダークスター」っていう映画のラストを描きたい。
So for me, though, I actually envisioned more of John Carpenter's Dark Star ending.
宇宙でサーフィンするんですよ。
To go surfing through outer space.
エウレカの元ネタになった。
そうですね。
And actually, Dark Star was kind of the origins of Eureka 7 as well. So.
まあ本当にある意味一人で三原さんともう一人の二人でほぼ終わらせてるとこもダンディの凄さだと思うし、話数は本当に僕は大好きです。
So I really love that episode, and I mean it was really done just by a couple guys, and Mihara-san being one of them. All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have probably about 5 minutes left.
We're at 48 right now.
All right. Yep.
Okay. This is specifically directed to Director Natsume and possibly Dai as well. What was it like working with Toenjo on episode 11, who it doesn't look like he's written any anime screenplays before, but he's a famous sci-fi writer. What was it like to work with him?
11は脚本家東園城さんと一緒に仕事、あんまりアニメの経験がない方じゃないですか。これと仕事するどんな感じか。
それも渡辺さんが面白いその小説家がいる。
And so actually, Director Watanabe came to me one day and said, "Hey, I got this really interesting writer."
で何のコネクションもなかったんですけど、とりあえず連絡先を探して、とりあえず声をかけてみよう。
Didn't really have any connections with him, but I got a number and said, "Okay, well, let's give him a call."
そしたら炎上さんも渡辺さんのことが好きだったらしくて、そこで意気投合してやってもらえることになりました。
And so it actually turned out that Angela was also a big fan of Watanabe's as well, and so it was kind of a mutual respect there, and it kind of came together.
僕はバカかと思いましたね、最初に。フィリップ・K・ディック賞と芥川賞を取ってる作家に頼むんだって頭がおかしい人だと思いましたね。
So I actually kind of thought Director Watanabe was a little crazy, thinking that he could go and make a request to somebody like that who's won the Philip K. Dick Award and the Akutagawa Award.
あのぐらいの地位の小説家にアニメの脚本を頼むなんてっていうその感じはしたんですけど。
There's a little bit of fear almost in thinking that we could ask somebody of that level to write an anime script. So.
でも全然ノリノリでしたね。
But he was really, really into it and totally came on board.
彼もう一話担当してます。
As a matter of fact, he's scheduled to do one more episode.
しかもね、すごい根幹に関わるところ。
And it's actually a really core part of the story too. So. And so it was actually based on what he wrote. It almost defined the rest of the story.
なんかね、設定考えてくれましたよね。
He even thought of the settings and stuff. We don't even get involved with that normally.
いや素晴らしい人ですごく刺激になりましたね。
He was a great influence, if you were, a great inspiration.
ぜひよかったら翻訳されてるんですかね。
ああ、どうなんでしょうね。日本語版の DVD には彼の元の脚本がついてるんですよね。それがもしアニメーション版についてたらぜひ見てほしい。
So if there is like a Funimation version of any of the things he's done, or an international version, then by all means we hope you can check it out. But we're not really sure if he's been published in English. All right. Let's try to get one more question in. Please lower your hand if you've already asked a question. I'm trying to get somebody new. You've already asked a question. No, you haven't. That's right. Let's go.
So, you all use the traditional animation methods like X-sheets, cells, or is it all digital and you skip that and go to storyboards and then animation?
Okay. これアニメーターさんの質問だと思いますけど、作り方なんですけど、デジタルで作ってるんですか？昔のアナログのやり方で作ってるんですか？
それは基本的には昔ながらの紙の上に鉛筆で絵を描いて、それをたくさん描いて動かすというパラパラ漫画ではあるんですが、最近の若い人はペンタブでこうデジタル上で絵を描いていくっていう人もすごくスペースダンディでは多く参加しています。
So there's a bit of both. For people like me, I've gone the more analog, traditional way. However, on the Space Dandy project, there's a lot of younger artists that are more using the tablets and digital to create.
それでデジタルでやってるとそのデータメールでやり取りがデータもできるので、世界各国で参加してるアニメーターもいます。オーストリアだったり、アメリカだったり、韓国だったり。
And so one of the great things is because it's of the digital method, right? You can communicate over the internet. And so we have been able to involve a lot of international creators as well, people from Austria and France and Korea and Argentina. So pretty worldwide.
ただ世界でやってもらっても結局動画が日本で手書きなのでプリントアウトしなきゃいけないんですよね。
But at the end of the day, even if you do it internationally, the animation is done in Japan, and you have to print it out at the end of the day. So in the end, it becomes paper. All right, great. I think we are just about out of time. So I would like to thank you all for joining us today. And let's give the Space Dandy crew a warm round of applause.
I
そうですね。放送はまだ続いているので、ぜひこれからも楽しんでみてもらえたらなと思います。よろしくお願いします。
So Space Dandy is not yet over. We still have several episodes to go. I hope you'll stick with the show to the very end. So thank you very much for watching and for your continued support.